Hi Roses, my name is Tianna and welcome to today's reading on the upcoming week for Earth signs. That is if you have a Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising sign. If you do not but still feel called to this reading, feel free to stick around. I am recording this for the week of March 1st. However, if you find this at any point, please feel free to take it if it resonates, as this is a timeless reading. If you enjoy this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can find more tarot content from me at my Twitter at Tianna Rose Tarot, or use the link in the description box to book a personal reading with me. First, we have the beautiful card Butterfly, which says transformation, joy, beauty, transience. Then we have Sickle, focus, regrowth, letting go. And lastly, Chamomile, gentleness, relaxation, and sleep. These cards represent to me a cycle, the cycle of life, the cycle of individual situations as we go through growth, death, and rebirth. The butterfly is not something that comes overnight. It is a very difficult process that butterflies go through in their metamorphosis, and it often involves a sacrifice of letting go in order to be able to turn into something as beautiful as a butterfly. And that is a message we also see in this sickle card, which is often related to the death energy, the death tarot card. Take that as it resonates. That does not necessarily mean literal death. It means a specific situation where you might need to let go and allow it to become something new. That is, again, very similar to this butterfly energy. So we're kind of seeing that in two different directions. A situation too where you need to really focus inwards, allow yourself to go through that process, recognize that you might not know what is coming next, but that it is crucial for your journey. And then with Chamomile, this is a reminder to take a step back, to slow down, to allow yourself space as you go through this complicated process. The butterfly does not come out overnight, and they do not stay in the public eye while they're going through their metamorphosis. Of course, as people, we do have some responsibilities. We can't necessarily completely close off for the world while we're going through a journey like this, a transformation, something big that is happening in your life, especially this week. But there is an opportunity here to rest, to be gentle with yourself, to allow yourself ample time to sleep, and to remember that you do not have to stay on all the time, that you are going through a big journey right now. I don't necessarily know what this transformation is. That can look different for everyone watching this reading at this time. It could be something that has been more of like a lifelong journey. It could be something that has happened especially recently, something where there may have been something sudden or something that felt very out of your control that you then had to adjust, and life could be feeling really difficult recently because of that. But remember that you are going through this process so that you can come out in a completely new form where you are still the same person that you've always been, but you are able to take on completely new opportunities, new growth, new experiences. So keep that in mind as you go through this process, that this is not something that has to be pretty. It's not something that has to happen overnight. You do not need to be able to stay on all the time as you're going through this journey, but that you will come out on the other side. Let's see what else is going on in this week for Earth signs. So we have the cards Nine of Pentacles and King of Pentacles. So again, you are in this process, this journey of building up something that is really powerful, and it's also something that you might not even be aware of, and the other people around you are likely not aware of either. However, you are building these things up, and you have been for a long time, and you're starting to get to the point where you actually get to enjoy it. And as well with the King of Pentacles, you are in a place where everything that you have dreamed for is coming to fruition. This is the goal here, and this is what you're moving towards. Even if you might feel like things are not far along or not where you wanted them to be by this stage, this is not a linear process, and oftentimes there are multiple periods of transformation that we have to go through to get to this final place here. Your journey may look very different from the people around you, but you have your eye on the prize. You know where you're headed, even if you don't have that all completely worked out yet. And it might not be the way that you originally expected, but there will come a time when you're able to really just enjoy all of the work that you've put in, that everything that you had worked so hard for, all of the sacrifices that you had to make, the transformations, the starting overs, that is all going to get you to this place where you can enjoy the garden that you've grown for yourself. There's a very powerful energy here. And as I said, you might not be doing the same things that other people around you are doing. You might have unconsciously chosen the more difficult path, but that is what is going to bring you even more fulfillment in life. You are reaching a point where you are going to be so deeply fulfilled. And other people, as I said, other people with this butterfly idea, they might not even recognize you after you go through this process, but it is still you. And it is something that's been inside of you this whole time, even if you weren't aware of it. We have the dragonfly, so pretty similar to a butterfly here. These symbols could be significant to you during this week, especially if you see them out in the wild. They can be important signs for you. This dragonfly card also represents being lighthearted, bringing things to the light, and adapting, changing, and healing. So as we've been talking about, going through this transformative process, and in that journey, maybe having to realize some things that you don't necessarily want to know, things coming up to the surface that you may have tried to push away in the past, but those are crucial in order to go through this process. Just like with the Death card, with the Tower card, which we don't have here, but has kind of similar energy, those are things can feel really scary in the moment, but that is the universe saying, you deserve better, or you are ready for something new now. And so you are going to be able to adapt. Trust that you will be able to work through the things that are coming towards you, that this is nothing that you cannot handle, but that you also have to be very gentle with yourself in this process. Don't expect you to be able to take it all completely perfectly or still show up in exactly the same ways. There might be a change, and there might be some things that you need to start saying no to, or give yourself more time as you go through this process, and other people might not always understand, but you know what you need and you can advocate for yourself. And we have the card engagement ring. So for some of you up in this week, there could be a deepening of a romantic connection or some form of commitment that does not necessarily need to be between you and another person. This could be you choosing to commit yourself to your life, choosing to commit to a specific part of this journey. I notice also with the King of Pentacles card, we have these bulls with the rings in their noses as well. So that could be some symbolism there too. This is also you keeping your eye on the prize, whether that is to be in a long-term committed relationship, whether that is to bring in prosperity and wealth to your life. All of those things are available to you, but do not rush that process, and recognize that you may continue to transform into different versions of yourself. And if you try to settle down with one specific person or with some ideas that you've had at one point in your life, they may not necessarily resonate with you in the future, and that can be really complicated and painful, but that is for your highest good. Let's get one more card today. We have the card Mirror. So again, we have this kind of circular imagery here that kind of aligns with the cycles that we were discussing at the beginning. this can represent you mirroring somebody else or them mirroring you, bringing out triggers in other people, and using other people in your life to kind of assist in that transformation for you. That as you interact with others, you are constantly having them reflected back to you and having yourself reflected back to you in other people. And so that is what's actually helping you to realize the areas that you need to grow, could be conscious or subconscious. This also can represent self-image. So you may be realizing that you are maybe feeling a bit harder on yourself recently, or that you're actually starting to work on that self-image and bringing in more positivity towards yourself. Again, being gentle with yourself as you go through this process, because it might not always be pretty. There might be times when you do things or you feel certain ways that you never thought you were going to feel, and you don't understand why you're going through this process. But as I keep saying, this is not about what anybody else is doing. This is about what you are doing, this introspection, turning inwards and focusing on your own journey, remembering that you are on your own unique process and that you are calling in this prosperity to your life, this abundance in all areas, especially the ones that you have put your energy and time towards. And that even if other people might not understand it, even if you don't always understand it, you are calling in something that is going to be so powerful and so impactful to you and the people around you. So do not give up on that journey. Allow yourself time, patience, and space to go through these transformations. And remember that you are a powerful being that is able to call in these things and to survive everything that the universe may be throwing at you, because it is only to make you stronger. It's a bit of a big reading today, but you guys are able to handle it. This upcoming week is going to be both powerful but really rewarding, and I hope that you have a great time. Thank you, Earth signs.